Breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
Angry dad wrecks anti-Trump teacher after what she snuck in kids' homework. A photo is going viral after a pissed-off father from New York saw what an anti-Donald Trump teacher snuck into his middle school daughter's homework. Unfortunately for the entitled educator, she had no idea what was coming for her as the girl's dad destroyed her the following day, and the special note he wrote on the assignment was beyond badass. Vincent Ungro's 11-year-old daughter attends Powell Intermediate School, IS 75, in Staten Island, New York. What started as an ordinary date took quite the turn when his child returned from school with quite the homework assignment. After having trouble filling in the blanks of her vocabulary worksheet, she turned to her dad for help. However, you can imagine his surprise when he looked down to see what was written on the paper. As a Trump supporter himself, Ungro was immediately angered by the biased question and what it implied about the current president of the United States. Of course, this was only made worse when he looked at the next question to see that it actually praised Barack Obama. After telling his daughter not to answer those specific questions, Ungro decided to voice a few opinions of his own. After first circling the questions, the angry dad then wrote, "Please keep your political views to yourself and do not try to influence my children on them. Thank you," on the bottom of the page, but things were far from over. According to reports, the teacher, who has since been identified as Audrey Zawatsky, was rather offended by the father's remarks, which is of little surprise since we already knew she is a liberal snowflake, and she decided to send him a nasty email displaying her leftist tolerance. Fiercely, "I do not believe I was expressing a political view at all on my vocabulary sheet. My reference to President Trump was about his personality traits rather than his ability as a president," the teacher wrote. The media is non-stop on very similar references. This is considered freedom of speech and I feel I have the same right as they do. Of course, all Zawatsky did was expose her bias even more and show Ungro just how ignorant she really was. Clearly, this woman doesn't understand the fact that freedom of speech goes out the window when you're in a position of influence. For the same reasons that teachers can't talk about religion in the classroom, most know to keep their mouths shut about politics as well, especially those with biased opinions like this loudmouth. Unfortunately for her, she was taught that the hard way as school administration was forced to intervene, and they did not have Ms. Zawatsky's back. The DOE encourages respectful conversations about civics that help students become more thoughtful and engaged citizens, but staff are directed to maintain neutrality when discussing political issues in school, DOE spokesman Michaela Simon said. Although Zawatsky has been teaching at the school since 2005 and isn't going anywhere since she is tenured, she did get reprimanded for her disgusting behavior. As Young Conservatives reports, the school wrote up the teacher and put the complaint in her file. Of course, that merely accounts to a slap on the wrist, but it gets the point across. This father had every right to be angry at this teacher who was using her position to brainwash the children she was responsible for educating. When it comes down to it, this is unacceptable by any standard, and this woman should actually be fired. Tenure seems to be an outdated practice. No one is irreplaceable and no one should be so comfortable as to think that they are. Breaking the rules, especially ones as grievous as these, should result in stiff punishment. It's as simple as that. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.